Remember when Tom Cruise made a bad movie? No, before that. With just 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, this is Cruise's lowest rated movie, and it's an absolute dumpster fire of poor dialogue, weird story beats, and eye-wateringly rampant sexism. It's one of those rare films that even Cruise's undeniable charisma can't save, and might just make worse. This is the utter mess that is Cocktail. We follow the story of an all-American veteran, played by Cruise, who wants to make it big in New York City. So far, so rote. But surprise, surprise, that's not as easy as he thinks.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to succeed.
I appreciate that, Flanagan, but all our professionals have college
I
degrees.
catch on pretty quick. I can look at an ad and tell you what's wrong with it. I believe in positive thinking. Never quit. Never say die. I want to be part of the team. So, what do you think?
Well, your resume is completely inadequate.
So he falls into the one job where he can take his shit-eating grin all the way to the bank, bartending. And at this point, we meet what can only be described as a cross between Donald Trump and Sam from Cheers in this rampant womanizing. Wait a minute, is that just Sam from Cheers? Yes, we meet Doug Coughlin, played by Australian Brian Brown, and, well...
The waitresses hate me.
Well, you wait till you've given them crabs. Then you'll really know hatred.
Jesus Christ. So, Paul Hogan goes all Mr. Miyagi and teaches the poor, impressionable Cruise how pouring drinks is a surefire way to get into women's trousers. And somehow make lots of money, I don't know. If you've not seen this, I'd pay you £1,000 to figure out where this is going to go next. It's an absolute roller coaster of a movie where we jump from New York to Jamaica and back again via a pregnant holiday fling and just the most shocking out of nowhere death you could imagine. It's a movie where you can't look away, you're not bored, but it's not good. So, let's get into just some of it. I'm not sure if this is a real thing, but if it is, unsubscribe. We get a toe-curlingly cringeworthy scene with Cruise standing on a bar in a packed nightclub, wittering away suggestive drink names to a clientele who clearly get drunk off iambic pentameter rather than alcohol. Nobody is serving a drink here. But even before that, we get this guy from the cast of American Psycho, just back from talking about Paul Allen's business cards, spouting off whatever the fuck this is.
The poem is entitled The Bottom Line.
Stick it in your Volvo!
Money isn't everything, they say. Okay, so what is? Sex?
It's better than sushi!
Did you ever make love to a pauper? You?
I'd rather hunt a camel!
Revolution? It takes money to overthrow the government, you know?
Whoa! That's deep.
Art? The more it costs, the better it is. And that's the bottom line!
Of course, when Cruise does it, it's enough to get him some action. From the first woman in this movie to come from the fantasy of deluded men writing Hollywood scripts.
I'd like to try the orgasm, please.
How many would you like?
Multiple.
Multiple?
And boy, did they do a number to this movie. It's the 1980s. What do we expect? But even if we are just 14 years after American women could open a bank account without their husbands, it's still shockingly sexist. Most of it comes from Brian Brown's Coughlin, whose character is laced with visible and intentioned hatred for women. He's like a Reddit incel mod turned up to 11.
This man's phenomenal. Put him in a room full of women, and he goes to the poorest and the dumbest every single time. This place is crawling with moneyed females. Rich and ripe and out of your league.
And this isn't even the film trying to tell a cautionary tale of what happens when someone becomes this warped. This is evidenced by the fact that Cruise, our hero, also gets in on the dick swinging with this lovely line.
Game's not over yet. Wouldn't be any fun if they fell over with their legs in the air now, would it?
The movie then tells us that Cruise, dumping his newfound 3-day-old love Jordan, played by Elizabeth Shue, heads back to New York to hang out with Bonnie and her yuppie friends. All this because the Jedi Master of Sleaze dares him to do it.
$50 says you don't even make it over the bar.
Gentlemen, that's a bet.
Of course it doesn't work out, but old Tommy Boy doesn't let anything like shame get in the way of trying to get Jordan back.
How did I humiliate you?
Brian, I was there. I saw you go off with that woman. You're such an asshole.
You see, Doug landed a rich chick. And that night he bet me that I couldn't do the same.
And I was worth so little to you that you could just take some stupid juvenile bet?
No, you see, a guy lays down a dare, you gotta take it.
If Coughlin jumped off a cliff, would you? This is Cruise in full manipulation mode. He's gaslighting her into thinking she's done something wrong, when in reality, he's just a piece of shit. But in a men writing women trope as old as time, this happens.
I'm pregnant.
I'm spooked.
Look, sexism aside, this is what really bothers me about this movie. What are we trying to make the audience feel? We've moved from a buddy bartender romp to a Jamaican Love Island, and now we're exploring the morality of being a deadbeat dad? All with Coughlin spouting philosophical nonsense that would challenge ChatGPT for the number of cliches per minute. What's the tone here? And then the film decides to throw a curveball that shocked me to my core. Coughlin's character brutally kills himself after a few bad investments.
Help me! Somebody help me!
What the fuck? With just 13 minutes to go, the movie plays its hand, and we're left wondering how the hell they're going to dig their way out of this one. And you know why it offends me so much? Because this is just the movie. You can see it getting lost in the edit. In 13 minutes, Elizabeth Shue gets cut off, and then they decide to get married and set up a bar with a loan from Cruise's uncle. And then we have, I think, the one scene of genuine truth in this movie, where the two characters hang a lantern on exactly what's going to happen as soon as the movie finishes.
You realize we're both completely insane.
Yes?
You're probably gonna want to divorce me in 3 weeks.
Probably. No, you'll want to divorce me. You're gonna be all fat and ugly.
Just as long as you don't get too fat.
I am going to be very fat, and you are gonna love it.
So that's the end of that chapter. Cruise's friend is dead, and at no point do we have any self-reflection as to why, or how Cruise, who has followed his mentor blindly from the start of this movie, can avoid becoming the sexist loser that Coughlin was. It's supposed to be a happy ending in a movie where nobody learns any lessons, and you're just made to feel kind of horrible at the end. And so there we have it, Cocktail. Maybe you like this film, but for me it's a movie that not even the self-confidence of Scientology could save. And it must be Cruise's worst film.
Twins?
Twins! Drinks are on the house! Bar is open!
Hey, if you made it all this way through, thanks for watching. I hope I didn't destroy Cocktail for you too much. If you want to hear more, we have an episode on Cocktail, link in the description, and we get into a lot more of this crazy, insane movie. So, thanks for watching. See you again.
Holy shit.